Raul Podcast.
Yo! What's up, my party people? Nice to see y'all again. Nice to be seeing y'all's pretty faces. I'd make out sloppy style with you or whatever. Here back at it with...
Welcome back to episode number, I think 10. We're hitting double digits.
We started to get there, boy. Nice to see y'all again. Happy y'all tuning in.
I'm very happy to receive all the feedback. I didn't look at anything if there was anything, so we're doing another poll episode.
Oh God, if y'all like it, that's too cool. Bad. We'll notice at some point, but today's not the point. That being said, it's a pretty chill episode. I think we got a special guest with us today. He's waving at you guys like there's a fucking camera. Say hi to the people.
Hello everyone, it's me again, Jamie.
Get freaky with it.
Thank you, Jamie.
He bit my nipple, y'all.
I'm gonna get freaky.
Get freaky with the listener, not with me.
What did you move?
He wanted you to do something with the listener.
Oh, my bad. I'm getting my nipple sucked on y'all's beat.
Hello everybody, today I'm super
I heard his lip smack.
I love y'all.
Episode 10.
Yeah, episode 10, y'all. So,
Wow.
what's up with life? What's up with y'all? What y'all up to?
Hey, shout out to Average Workers on YouTube.
And fucking shit that doesn't exist yet.
By the end of tonight, it will.
Okay.
It's gonna be our YouTube channel. Me, Jamie, aka Edwin.
And your co-host, Tony.
Yeah, that one. We're gonna have a little YouTube channel. It's gonna be about gaming. Gaming. Sorry, I'm talking really close to my partner over here. He's about to kiss me.
It's just gonna be gameplay. Probably right now we're playing Ratatouille, and hopefully later on we can expand on the other things. Probably co-op games and multiplayer shit.
Quick question: by Ratatouille, like, is it a Disney-made game about Ratatouille?
First of all, it's Pixar, and yes, for some reason.
I thought Pixar was part of Disney.
Yes, it probably is.
Yeah.
Did you make anything?
What's up? Oh no, I
Right.
fucking ate a bag of dicks on that.
Then yeah, it's made with them. It's on the Xbox 360, and it looks like ass.
What is the gameplay? If that, like, are you cooking? Is it like a cooking sim? Is it like a what the fuck is the? What is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it an open world?
For right now, it's okay. Stripes. It's been more open world, kind of like little puzzles things to get through. So we progress through the main story. And one thing that they added that wasn't really in the movie was like this home base of like the sewer rat area.
Yeah.
So you go back there, and then it seems like you have to complete things for your like little sewer rat base in the main world to, I guess, progress through. We haven't gone that far, mostly because I'm fucking bad because of the controller. And I'm gonna keep blaming the controller because it is sticky, and
That's fair.
And I hate it.
I guess my question is it similar? You remember that the fucking Kung Fu Panda game that we used to play, or the Kung Fu Panda game?
Yeah, I remember.
Is it similar to that in the terms of like it's not really like
Well, that one had more mini games, so we just played mini games.
Oh, okay.
I remember that one more because I don't remember playing any of the actual game. It was just all the mini game shit we did with everyone. So I can't really compare it to that.
That's fair.
It's been fun though. No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't. You've been struggling.
Because I've been struggling because of the fucking controls. I'm used to things being more, I guess, easier.
He sucks.
You're solids, right?
No,
you're
I'm
Stripes.
Stripes.
Okay,
It's because I've been playing Jedi Survivor, and with that, a lot of things are kind of automatic. Like when you grab on the ledges, when you go on something that you have to balance on, it kind of automatically sticks you to it. But for that game, it's been a lot of like jump, and then you press another button to start doing the other thing.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's been throwing me off a lot. So that's been really annoying for me. But other than that, I can't wait to kind of get into it.
Hey, you getting freaky with these shots, y'all. I wish y'all could see this shit. Hey. Nah, but how do you feel about the game since you don't got a sticky controller?
I think it's cool. I mean,
No! We have to cut five.
We don't have to cut it. I've just been.
I think it's cool. It just has
Yeah.
a lot of like weird mini games, and I don't know. I just watch him and laugh at him.
Fuck
Try
you.
to-
Yeah, fuck you. He laughs, but he doesn't know the struggle.
I don't care. I don't have to go through it to be able to laugh, in my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair. So outside of the games, how are y'all feeling about what else are y'all up to? You know, how's school? How's life?
School isn't fine. With the online thing, it's a lot easier to actually get access to anything he wants to share with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then work's been pretty hard because it's been getting hotter. And I work outside, so it's been pretty ass. But that's been more on me for going in a little later than I should. So I start hitting those high degrees a little sooner than I should
That's fair.
in my workday. But
If you're putting it there, it's gonna fall.
That's what I'm thinking. But
because
then
of
I
that-
don't get too much rub on my shit. That's the problem.
Just take off the puffy thing.
they can hear this.
Yeah, they can. That's the worst part about it.
But
That's
the
autistic.
Yeah, I am. I can feel this shit on my neck. Yo, I can feel.
yeah.
Fuck your shit. It's on your neck.
Well, he feels his ass hairs, so this is extra intrusive.
Y'all, you didn't listen to the other episode.
I did. I don't
No,
have
you
any ass
didn't.
hairs as a Hispanic.
This guy's a fake fan.
I'm
Either
sorry.
way, go for
Fake
it.
Hispanic, fake fan. Fuck out of here, bro. You ain't got no ass hair. Lame ass little boy.
But because of the higher temperatures, I also have more work. So that's a little better because then I don't have just jack shit to do. You know, I don't stand around and make up work. I actually have things to do.
God
What
damn
about
it.
you,
Life's been good. Same old shit, you know, just work. I'm currently trying to get a new job. Been applying to a bunch of different places. Have a preliminary interview to do with this one sales company. Again, this is the one that I was telling you about that is like possible fucking cold calling, which I absolutely despise.
What does that mean?
Cold calling is when you call random fucking number like, hey, would you be interested in my product? And that's not my fucking vibe, bro.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of cold. Hold on.
Ooh, okay.
I feel like a lot of that just feels like a big time waste, even if you're getting paid, because it feels like you're not making any progress.
Exactly. And again, I'm looking for something that like is either a lead oriented, like has the leads, and then you're just kind of like trying to sell a product based off of that. But ultimately, like I still have the interview, I still have the questions to ask. So if it's not cold calling related, I'm probably gonna fucking go there. But I've been fucking up Indeed, bro. I'm on a crazy Indeed run right now. I'm not even going.
Yeah, no, I remember when I was like right after breaking my arm, I applied to so many places. I had a bunch of interviews just for random shit. I remember I had one for like moving bodies, and it wasn't even like an hourly thing. It was like
Per body?
no, it was like $100 a day.
That's gnarly.
And not only that, I remember looking back, it said I had to use my own vehicle, so I had to load people into my car for $100. I guess I just had to be lucky that they weren't calling that specific place to get the bodies, you know?
Uh-huh.
Because one thing people don't realize is that I guess you just say that, you know, there's a dead body, and then after that, it's out of your control about like where it goes. Like, I don't get to say, hey, take them to this place, or, you know, there's probably an option for it, but most of the time, I'm sure someone who just lost someone isn't going to be like, hey, take them to this specific spot. So, I'm guessing that's why maybe it was like per day, because maybe I get a lot of bodies and sometimes I don't. But either way, it was crazy that I had to offer my own vehicle.
I was gonna say, like, how would that even work out in your vehicle?
I mean, I had the car for it. A body of average proportions will be there. I think so.
That's fair, actually.
I mean, I move a lot of shit there already for, the job I have now.
That's true, but again, it's not a whole fucking body. It's not a limp body. Right? I guess it's stiff body. You know?
And do you think they would help you like load it and then?
It was a 2-person thing.
Oh.
So I think the car thing was more of an optional. Like if you have a car that can take it, then they might pay you more. But I remember seeing the minimum was like $100 a day.
That is actually gnarly.
For a day rate for moving bodies.
There we go. Okay, I feel like the interference on this mic is gonna be crazy. Like it's like.
No, you're fine.
Fair enough.
That's how we wore it. That's how Kevin wore it.
And it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, for the
You
ab.
can hear nothing.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I guess I'll go fuck myself.
Just in case our listeners forgot, I've been linking Brown Boy's Kitchen for all the new episodes.
That's crazy.
Brown Boy's Kitchen is a food establishment made by Roberto Uribe
Yeah.
and Kevin, our other friend. We're just like growing businesses out here now.
I guess so. I don't know. I was telling Kevin, depending on how this marketing job goes, or depending on what job I actually get, we might have to take a slight hiatus on Brown Boys so I get like a better schedule down. But we'll
Or
see.
you can just adjust the days that you guys are open.
That's the thing, though. He's only available on the weekends.
Make sure you get a job available on the weekends. I don't know what to tell you.
No, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a job on the weekend. So ultimately,
No, you've been fucking up Indeed. You can find a job on the weekend.
That is, I mean, yeah, but at the same time, can I find a job that is offering what I want it to offer? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna get some bullshit job just because it offers me the weekend, just so I can keep Brown Boys up. You know what I'm saying?
No, you can move bodies for $100 on
Hey.
have the weekends open.
Throw some bodies in the Corolla hatchback. They got it.
Yes, sir.
Just throw them on their knees. Fuck, man.
Hey Rob, I feel like to be able to get that kind of job, you need to have like a good resume with experience.
He has a
one
lot of
thing-
experience.
No, shut the fuck up. So one thing, someone
This
told
fucking
me,
dick up, boy.
One thing someone told me a while ago was like, because I wanted to apply for like a waiter job,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, but yeah, I have no experience. And he was like, oh, just use like a place that supposedly like shut down or something, and make up like a random address, and just be like, oh, I used to work here, and they went bankrupt, so you can't even call them anymore. Just be like, I worked there for like a year in management.
That's
and then
fair.
you can just go off of that. They'll believe it.
That is true,
You
but
could also just lie and say
It
that.
is lying. It is
No, I mean like another lie is like maybe with you, Edwin, like your stepdad, and be like, hey, I worked at this place, and this person who works with this group knows me, so then you can link them, and if they're not directly like related to you, then it's easy for them to lie and say, yeah, I know this person for this thing,
like
you
a
know?
referral.
Yeah, like a fake referral, really.
that's fair. I mean, ultimately, I don't know. I guess if this shit goes bad, I'll start fucking capping on my Indeed resume. But at least on paper, I look really good, just because of the whole like aspect of the veterinary field and just kind of like the extremes of it. So it's like on paper, I can be like, yeah, I know how to handle clientele in high emotional states. I know team coordination. I know how to fucking.
But it's not exactly management.
No, yeah, exactly. Which is like.
I think it's
A lot of the times I'm not applying for like a straight up like fucking company man like director manager or some shit, but it comes down to like I'm looking for a lot of entry level positions. So as long as I have kind of what they're ultimately looking for in terms of he has the skill set required to be able to manage people and be in an entry level position where we're willing to teach him. That's where I start to kind of shine on paper, if that makes sense. Just because I have the skill set required to be able to learn in further depth.
I think for what he does, it's pretty close, mostly because of how he has to manage people. Even if you're doing like a technical job that involves animals, you still have to have this like whole social aspect, like a lot of it, especially if you're fucking putting down dogs and like having to deal with people in
But
like
if I was like someone looking for like a manager, I don't give a fuck if you put down animals or not, or if the people cry about it. Like, I'm not in that field. so
But
I
no, you're
I
thinking.
can't-
Well, that's why you don't know, because he's saying that like,
Yeah.
if you don't care if he can put down animals, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about how he can handle people who are in a high emotional state. That's very important in management. If someone's in a high emotional state, who are they going to ask for? The manager. They're not gonna ask for the fucking worker.
It's more the skill set that comes around with what I'm doing that is easy to correlate with other kind of skill sets that are necessary for what I'm looking for. Like, I'm not putting down, like, when it's like, why do you think you'd be qualified for this job? I'm not putting, because I killed animals in the past. I'm putting down, like, the skill set that I've acquired through the job. You get what I'm saying?
So you do explain that you, like, kind of handle that people.
Yeah, like when I'm putting why I think I'm a good candidate, I'm like, hey, I'm a good candidate because I have, I know how to build customer relationships. I know how to handle clientele at their worst. I know how to, minimize conflict. Shit like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm not.
You would just put like, oh, I'm a vet assistant.
No.
It goes. You have to work your resume.
Exactly, and that's one thing that I'm good at is working the fuck out of my resume.
Shit, one of the things I put for Burger King whenever I had it up on my resume was fucking sanitation. It's
Bro,
just like,
thank you. I have fucking 4 years of sanitation, bro.
yeah, that's why like, you just massage your resume to make it accurate, but still sound better than what it was.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, maybe because I've never been to like an actual interview.
Mm-hmm.
All of my jobs have been because I know people, because I always like get to network, and like I just start getting to know the higher ups of that place, and they just hire me because I'm cool like that.
That's fair.
Not because of my skills, just because of me.
Yeah, most of the jobs that I've gotten, I mean, outside of one job, which was the fucking food truck job, all the jobs that I've gotten were sheerly off of like my skill set, and then being able to work my way into the door, and then convincing them that I'm a better fucking pick than somebody else.
Yeah, I feel like that's why maybe we just have different views, because like none of my jobs have been like that. I just like know people.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we'll see how this fucking goes. Don't get me wrong. If I start eating a bag of dicks on these Indeed jobs, I'm gonna start bullshitting bad. But
shit, I've been bullshitting. I know a lot of my jobs. I've usually gotten them because I lied. I remember the insurance one. I lied about how I would. I lied that I was a full-time student and I think a full-time worker. So they're like, "Oh, he knows how to manage his time."
Yeah.
I didn't. I still got the job, so fuck it.
oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, listeners. Jesus.
No, they usually don't get that.
Yeah, fair.
I'm pretty sure that was loud enough.
Yeah.
No, in the last recording when it happened, I don't remember picking it up that much.
Oh, interesting.
Because we have good mics. You know why? Because we care about you guys.
Yeah, they do, definitely.
Nah, but yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, guys, now I got the mic. I can tell you some weird shit. Don't listen to these guys. They're kind of weird. Rob is no longer bald, so I kind of respect that. Mind me, I say kind of. But,
Oh
but yeah, I don't know. Lately, today, I was working on, I went to work at 2 a.m.
Oh.
because I'm working on this prototypes for the new rooms for that guitar in the strip, the new one, the Hard Rock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like, it's pretty interesting because, you know, the actual owner goes and looks at all the prototypes from like 4 different companies that they hire.
You just pull up and there's a fucking billionaire in there. You're like, oh.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, what? How much is his suit?
Let me suck your dick, sir. Let me suck your dick.
Sorry, please. I will only take 100,000. I swear.
That's fair, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I think it is definitely strange when you see how people outside of your fucking tax bracket operate.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's like a whole different world. Like
I will
remember,
easily take 100,000 for some dick sucking.
I don't know.
so I guess hit him up.
It depends on how nasty the dick is, bro. I'm not gonna lie. If I see some real nasty dick, I might not suck it for 100.
I mean, low key.
As a gay man, I'm not sucking dirty dick for 100 bands, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that's no, don't get me wrong. That's life-changing money for me, bro. I'm not doing it.
If there's no disease on it, I'm sucking it. No matter how dirty it is.
You sucking musty dick for 100 bands?
Easily.
Bro, the must.
110 for musty.
The must goes out of your mouth. It doesn't matter. But the money stays in your bank. What you want to do?
Damn, bro.
Nah, but anyways, I remember This one time I was working at the MGM, right, the conference center, and I was just standing there doing my bullshit, and then casually they were like, "Oh, this VIP guest is gonna come by," and then I just see Bon Jovi walking like 1.5 feet away from me, and he's walking with his luscious hair, just so cool.
Isn't he old as fuck too? He's like
but he has more hair than like all of us. It's so crazy. He's like,
is it long? Is it luscious? Like, what's the deal with it?
Yeah, it's like, you know how Elvis had it, kind of like up 4 inches and then slick back.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but it was all gray.
It was all gray.
And I don't even know, man. It was just so cool. His aura, like, even before that word was made up, I just felt it. I was like, holy shit, this guy.
You felt the aura of some motherfucker with real bread?
I just wanted to cry, not gonna lie.
You wanted to cry?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one, big dog. But
that shit was crazy. Like, Bon Jovi? Do you know who Bon Jovi is?
I do, but I don't know the impact of his music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think when you're born out of an era, you understand, like, the respect that other people have for these people.
Yeah.
But you don't really have that same respect. Not because you don't respect the person, but because you just don't have the foundation to be like, this is, like, the most badass human being ever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but he's just like a artist, you know? Like a worldwide.
For world-renowned artist. I get you.
So what about you, Tony? Who was the most famous person you saw? Rob?
My boss? I don't know.
His boss is balling. His boss is balling.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of money. Like, one, was it? I don't know if it was last year, but they just had a good year, and he bought a whole new car, which was like a Rolls Royce 2024 electric. And yeah, like...
Didn't you get to drive it?
I didn't get to drive it.
Oh.
No, the only cars over there I said I got to drive was the Ford F-150 Lightning, which is an EV car.
That's pretty sick.
An EV truck, which is probably pretty, like, expensive, honestly.
Dang. I don't know. I don't know if I could drive that, to be honest.
I'd
be too scared.
One of my doctors drives an electric, like, 2024 Chevrolet. The battery died on it and he couldn't open the doors.
That's what happens with Teslas too.
Yeah, the battery died on it and he couldn't open the door, and then he locked all the other doctors in because he parked behind him. No one could leave. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they had to tow his shit out of there so everyone else could leave, and they just left his shit on the side of the hospital.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's a bad thing about those type of cars.
Yeah, the only other thing that came to mind with regards to money and how it's very different was how they spent around $10,000 on just Christmas ornaments, like the balls that go on trees.
Oh.
They spent over $10,000 on just that alone. Not the trees, not everything else, just that alone.
That's insane. I've been thinking about buying like $40 lights.
And you're like, I don't know if I should make the investment.
It's just lights.
Yeah.
Holy. I mean, if I had the money, I would totally do it though.
Yeah.
Like 10K, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Put a 20K. I don't give a shit.
I was gonna say, yeah, when 10K becomes $100 to you, I think that's like, I think it's all a matter of like perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know.
Perspective on what? What do you mean?
Like if you have the perspective of, hey, my bank account literally is gonna be unaffected if I bought 10 bands, then like, you feel what I'm saying? Like it carries less weight to it. It's like them dropping blah 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 on a fucking Rolls Royce.
Like if you have $8 million in your bank account and you spend 2K, that you're like whatever.
It's literally like spending fucking $2. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things that ultimately just comes down to perspective. But
yeah, like for me and my bank account, spending like $50 is like, whoa, that's probably enough for the day. Or maybe like my mindset too. I don't know.
Yeah, if I spend like $50 2 days back to back, I'm like, whoa, I gotta chill out, bro.
I know, right? It's like $100.
I'm moving too fast, bro.
And it's crazy because like $100 is like, oh, I bought 2 lunches.
One time I dropped like $76 at the fucking, what is it called? The dumpling spot, and I was like, I'm big balling right now.
Bro, but look at that place is worth it. The dumpling spot, Tony.
I got the black truffle dumplings, bro, and some chow mein, bitch. I felt like I was top dog in that bitch for a second. I'm not even gonna lie. Had a 5-person table to myself because I thought you guys were pulling up.
Hell no.
That shit was such a vibe, bro.
That's fair.
All right, I have a question for both of y'all about what's like the biggest but dumbest purchase that you ever had. And dumb as in, like, maybe it doesn't even have to be useful. Like, maybe dumb in the sense that you really didn't get anything out of it.
Probably my animals. I mean, technically speaking, I really don't get anything.
You should probably speak into your mic.
Oh, it's close enough. I can speak fucking anywhere. It's close enough.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
my thing is, probably my animals, just because, like, realistically, if you take the whole fucking mini zoo that I have at my crib and account, I easily spend fucking 10 bands a year on the animals.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Just for pets?
Yeah, just for pets. It's like it's not even pets that can love you back. My pets don't love me back.
Yeah,
I have snakes and
It's just
lizards
like
and shit and
for
fish.
show.
Like my pets literally, physically, and anatomically cannot love me back if I wanted them to.
Think about the ornaments you can get though.
Hey. Nah, yeah, but it's probably my fucking horde of animals. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think it's like every month I'm like towards the end of the month, I collect like a decent amount of money for like my standards.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I have enough money to like spend, I don't know, 400 or $300. So like this shirt that I'm wearing and plus 2 other shirts, it was like,
He's scared to say it. He's scared to say it.
shipping and tax included, it was like almost $200
That's
for no reason. But
They're
like,
dropping,
that's what I
75
like
shirt,
though, you know?
Like 7, yeah, I feel like
Yeah, so
that's
like-
how I feel about my animals. Like I can't rationalize it, bro. Like if you tell me like what the fuck are you doing, I'm like probably nothing good, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. And like money comes and goes, yeah. But you also have to like, know how much you can spend.
Exactly, and ultimately, like it's not like I'm going out of my way to buy my animals bougie shit. It's just like it's like at some point my snakes fucking outgrow their enclosure and they got a whole new enclosure and shit. And like you're dropping like $800 on an enclosure.
What about you, Tony?
For me, I was thinking about one-time purchase kind of thing, because for me, I remember the first time I had a lot of like extra money. It was the moment, like it was throughout college, and then I remember there was this website that someone showed me, and there was like a lot of expensive clothing, and I remember seeing a hoodie that was around $400 that I bought that ended up never coming to me ever. It never came.
How much was it?
It was like 400.
Damn.
400 to 500, but then I saw that it was based in Ukraine, and I was like, all right, that's my donation. I'm not gonna support these people ever again.
Oh, I think you told us about that.
Yeah, I probably did, but in my mind, I was like, damn, because I should have definitely looked into the company beforehand, and shit, if they're honestly based in Ukraine, then fuck it. I actually donated to a personal person, like one individual who was in need.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, $400 for my thing.
Yeah, and I never got it, so fuck it.
That was your war fund. Fuck yeah, bro. That's valid.
I'm fine with that. That sacrifice, honestly. It was more than worth it.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. Yeah, but I think I do remember vividly, like, you talking about it. You're like, oh, because it was during the Ukraine war or something.
I mean, technically speaking,
Or it's still going, yeah, it's still going.
That's why I was thinking more of a one-time purchase. A lot of other things that I spend a lot of money on throughout like the month or like my check, I can't really think of other than like alcohol. But even then, that's more if I spend a lot, it's probably because there's some kind of event. And even then, it's more like it's worth it if I buy like a nice bottle for my cousin or something.
I take it back. My most outrageous spend is probably the amount of fucking money I spent on weed in high school. I got that fucking In-N-Out job. They were paying me $17 an hour as like a 16-year-old. And let's be honest, that was on some bullshit, bro. I used to buy like, I was like, yo, what's your top shelf looking like? Be like, oh, it's $300 an ounce.
Damn.
Send that shit my way. Buy that shit like twice a month. Yeah,
That's insane.
Or like
Nah,
buy like
yeah.
2 ounces at a time. Be like, all right, bro, I'll give you a discount. It's gonna be $500 for 2 ounces. So honestly, oh my god, I was moving like such an asshole. I used to just have like an ounce in the trunk of my car, just any given time. Have it driving with a permit. If I get pulled over, this is a life-ruining accident. So yeah, just driving back home from In-N-Out, smoking a blunt with an ounce in my car at like 2 a.m. downtown. Just like I'm not gonna lie to you. The sheer luck that I haven't been pulled over with just an outrageous amount of marijuana in my car as an underage man, like it's sheer luck. It's nothing but luck.
Yeah, because you do drive pretty fucking stupid.
Not in the new Corolla. I don't drive like such an asshole.
Yeah, you do. We just drove to the store. And
It's not that deep. By the time
I think it's funnier if I say it and then I don't say it. But anyways, fucking yeah. And you were driving super crazy, almost like Alex. This one friend, he's really into cars and he drives like he thinks he's cool.
I don't think I was driving that bad.
You were driving pretty bad.
I don't know if you got it, but
Right now, when we're coming right back now.
he doesn't think he
way.
drives that bad. either way, sometimes he does drive that bad, but honestly, overall, with our group, I feel like we have gotten pretty lucky because even me, whenever I was smoking a lot, I had like, I wasn't even gonna say I had minors. I was also a minor with two other minors high with just a permit, and I remember backing into like I backed into a car once in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven. And it wasn't bad.
Go. You should probably just go, Anthony.
Yeah. It wasn't bad, but it was a pretty substantial tap. And everyone in the car was like, "We should just leave."
Yeah, because it's worse if we stay here, bro.
Yeah. We're just like, we're high. I hit something. Let's go. And yeah. So I think overall we had a good lot of luck, but I for sure don't think you should push it specifically.
Oh, I completely agree. It's gone to the point where it's like, yeah, I definitely shouldn't fucking push it. And I'm not. I'm a lot more responsible than I was as a young teen, I think.
I drive like a little bitch, so I don't have to worry.
No, I mean, ultimately, like, I don't think I drive that bad. I genuinely do not believe I drive that bad.
I don't know. I not that bad, but yeah, like a little rough, to be honest. Like you step really hard into the brake and the accelerator.
Just because my car, this is the first car that I've had that goes at a decent fucking rate of speed. My other car, I could stomp on my other car's accelerator and that bitch would go maybe 5 miles faster.
Wasn't the top like 90 miles an hour?
One time in that car, I swear to God, I was going downhill on the freeway. It maxed out at 101 and I thought the car was going to blow apart. I thought the way the car was feeling, I genuinely thought that she was going to come apart at the seams at 101, bro.
That's pretty fair. I put my shit in sports mode quotations, and then I fucking step on it, and it's struggling until like about 60.
That's fair.
Yeah, this is the first car that I've gotten where it's like, it's fun to drive, so I'm gonna fucking use it like it's fun to drive.
But it's never fun to drive under the influence. Remember, dear listeners.
Marcus would say otherwise.
Well, I know, and fuck Marcus. Remember, dear listeners, it's never fun to drive under the influence. You know why?
Because we're sponsored by Dare.
Because if you feel different, you drive different. So click it or ticket. And that's my... He missed a very bad shot.
Bro,
Either way...
You can see how bad that fucking shot was. Oh my fuck. Look at... It's almost more skilled to be able to miss 2 balls at that fucking distance. Like... I don't even know what to say.
Hey, if you're talking to me, though, I ain't never missed 2 balls.
I can confirm. But yeah. Anyways, we're going to take a break. Nah, I'm just kidding. We don't have any ads.
Yeah, we don't have a single break. No one wants to sponsor this shit, bro.
They probably didn't hear you, but either way, I did have a few things on my, what is it, the notes thing that I keep. So
in the meantime, I'll tell you guys about this. Roberto, he was sexually assaulted when he was a minor. He doesn't like to talk about it, but I think we should bring it up for his own.
You bring up one thing when you're a little drunk. You think you cool with the homies, and they start bringing that shit up mid-podcast. What are we, like 20 minutes in? Started bringing out molested? My God, you're a bad fucking guest.
It was a joke.
So we just found out that Edwin's very lucky with his guesses on trauma. But either way.
Wait, what? That was real? Oh shit!
Fine, I'll cut that last part out so they don't know it's real.
No, you can cut it out. Holy shit!
No, it's not that deep.
Either way, Now that we're back into my notes. Man, every time I look at my notes, whenever we go into this fucking podcast, it always gets worse. Like, worse in the sense that, like, not like substance-wise, but it just makes less sense. One of my fucking notes thing is just says, very lucky with fingers. Oh, wait, no, never mind. That's because I almost lost my 2 fingers. All right, never mind.
Oh,
that sounds
I
a lot
have
worse.
a story about 2 fingers. Plenty, actually.
Mine, I also have plenty of stories.
Fat, ugly hoes.
That's Alex. I'm not Alex. Fuck you.
I have stories with fingers, but they're not good. Either way,
They're pretty good. You broke your fucking arm.
well, that's an arm, not fingers. So how about you check your facts? Either way, the last thing in my notes that we didn't get to talk about was this story I had about going to Utah, and there's this like crazy lady there, which was pretty interesting. I don't think I really talked to you guys about this because the trip was pretty short and just sudden. But I went to Utah for 2 days. I spent a night there,
Okay.
and it was with extreme.
You're a fucking asshole, bro. Fuck you.
It was with extremely fine shit, and
Fuck you.
and when we stayed there, honestly, it was a really nice place. It was kind of a bed and breakfast area, so I enjoyed it. But the next day when we woke up and went to get our breakfast, that's why I put something in my notes, is because there's this lady who she put her college flag out on the front lawn, and she was older, but everything she did was just like, why are you doing this? You know?
Like questionable?
Yeah, it was questionable. I remember when me and the other person went, our first interaction with them was we're coming back into the house because I was unloading some extra stuff, and on the way up to our room, she was coming. No, it was the opposite. Okay, we're coming down, and she was going up, and she said, "Oh, sorry," and just left and went into some random room and just stayed there until we left. Like, she didn't try to go back up the stairs. She said, "Oh, my bad." Went into a room. They didn't turn on the lights. She didn't make another noise. She waited till... Yeah, she went into a room and just stayed there until we were gone. For some reason, like, we looked back, we double checked to make sure that, that she was fine, but she just stayed in whatever room she went in. And then the morning after, we found out that she went into the kitchen and pulled out a bunch of drawers and took out a bunch of forks and knives. She it looked like she was rummaging through a lot of the house and put on her college flag onto the front lawn.
How old was she?
She was older, but it was still, I don't know, it felt like a ghostly feeling because when we started talking to her, at least I entertained a little bit more of this fact that, like, hey, whatever you did, I don't really care. I'm just going to kind of talk to you. And then I was listening to her talk. She was talking about how she lived here and how she saw the temple up there on Sunrise Mountain being built. Yeah. She talked a lot about how, I know these streets that never connected, but now they connect. And she was talking about how, I was there before this being like the temple and other big Mormon things. And I was like, that's really cool. And then I thought about more. I was like, so you're pretty old. Why the fuck were you acting so weird? You know?
I think, so I've had a lot of experience with older people, or people that are supposed to be professional, you feel me? Or people that are supposed to be mentors to you. And you just realize some people are just fucking weird, and they got themselves into positions where they're in positions of power, or into a higher elevation than you are, and they didn't get any less fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes shit just you can skate by on your professionalism and then you just never really confront the fact of who you are as an individual because you've grown in this professional kind of format, and then you just kind of get weird shit. Like, I'm not gonna drop no names, right? Real professional,
My mom.
real professional shit, right? Like a real professional person, right, who's above me, and then kind of just awkward conversation, and then like having an argument with like their loved one in a very professional manner. Walking on that shit, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this, right? Walk out, I'm like, boy, this ain't nothing. Boy, we gonna fuck this out. Like, you like, okay, what the fuck, bro? Like, it's just like some people never really like smooth over the weird shit in their personality, and you're just like, you just got yourself, either A, you were born into a position of power, or you just got yourself into this weird position of power, and then you're so above everybody else that no one's gonna confront you on your fucking weirdness. Like, cause at a certain point, people are like, this person's above me, I can't really say shit to this person, but you're just a strange fucking person. So it's like, some people build themselves up and never really work their way through themselves, if that makes sense.
I think that's fair because whenever we did get to talk to her a little bit more, in that moment when she's talking about her history and everything, she did mention that she was like, she was in some kind of pageant. I can't remember if it was like
People are fucked up.
Yeah, like that's why that's why I wasn't too like worried about dissecting why she's so weird. I just remember hearing the pageant thing. I was like, well, if you're in a pageant, then yeah, maybe something happened in like to you during that process that just made you a little unstable or something.
No fuck shit. I'm not even trying to talk shit on the whole pageant scene or whatever.
The whole scene?
No, because it's a whole thing. Like, it's like people take that shit really, like, they'll put like a fucking 6-year-old in like this weird pageant, and it's just fucked up. Like, they'll put like makeup on like a 6-year-old. They'll put them bitches in like bra. Like, it's fucked up.
Personally, Rob, take a second. He's not talking shit, but I will, because those motherfuckers are weird. Okay. Why the fuck are you like idolizing these little kids?
I want to add on to that. The whole pageant scene is full of pedophilia. Like, look, bro. As a woman, as a grown ass woman, as a grown ass fucking man, there is zero reason.
Rob is a woman.
why you should be putting a child in makeup and then being like, she's the prettiest, she's the most beautiful. Like, bro, that's a 6-year-old. Fuck is you talking about? And additional to that, think of all the grown ass men judges that are judging the beauty of a 6-year-old. What the fuck are you doing, bro? You think a 6-year-old is beautiful? You can think and it's not beautiful in the sense of like, that's my daughter, that's a being that I'm creating, that's a beautiful thing. Bro, you're judging a stranger's child in terms of beauty. You're a fucking weirdo.
Like physical attraction.
Yeah, it's like, yes, this 6-year-old's figure is beautiful. You're like, brother, you're talking about a 6-year-old right now.
They're also all strangers, so if you try to think like, oh, beautiful as a person, like they have nothing to go off of other than some kind of objective beauty that they have to apply to a child.
Exactly. And it's just like, look, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you're trying to get into the pageant scene, get the fuck out of there, you fucking weirdo. What the fuck are you doing? You trying to pimp out your fucking 6-year-old, you fucking sicko? Like, no mames, bro.
That pasan, Wayne.
That pasan, Wayne. No, but ultimately, yeah, like I'm saying, some people just get themselves into a position of power, and then because they're in that position of power, you're above people now, and then they feel weird about judging your entire person. You know what I'm saying? Because you hold some weird power over them, and it's just like, you gotta, I don't know, you have to address shit like that at a certain point, bro.
I've never seen anything like that.
Good. Good.
Yeah, because you're Mexican. If they like a kid, they take them.
Literally.
You said literally.
As a Mexican who lived in the third world country, have you ever experienced some kind of strange activities or saw something weird when you're a kid, when you're like just roaming out and about?
Maybe just like, I don't know. I guess like, not really. I guess because like some people would look up to this guy because he was like, he had knowledge in soccer, so you know they would look up to him because that's like the thing over there. and they would be like, "Oh yeah," they would all call him Tio, even though like uncle, even though they like not related at all. They're
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
mean, like the same way we
neighbors.
fucking called OG. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, like just someone you kind of look up to, but nah, nothing like really weird like that. Like oh, this old man is attracted to this child. Like nah, nothing. There's like a lot of like, I feel like social awareness where not to do that, because everyone's gonna shit on you and they will probably kill you if you touch someone's kid.
Yeah, that's one thing about, I guess, Hispanic, like, I don't want to say society. Maybe like some kind of social structure that was always there for kids. Like this big idea on protecting the kids, you know? Like no matter what, there is always something that you don't do this weird shit to kids, you know?
When we were younger, I didn't like this kind of like weird thing where it was like you would tell your kids to stay away from him because it's kind of weird, but like you wouldn't address the weirdness in a grown ass man. You get what I'm saying? Like adults would be like, no te acerques a él, but then he would still be at parties. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd be like, I don't know about that weird shit. Like that may not have happened in your life, but I remember very vividly, like at least growing up, motherfuckers would be like, stay away from him, but then he'd still be at parties.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, why the fuck is he here? What the fuck?
Yeah, that could be more of a. Did you experience that more like here in the States?
Yeah, I experienced.
I think that might come from that like contrast of like trying to protect kids, but also having this idea of like trying to keep the family together.
Maybe that is valid. Yeah, I don't know. I think ultimately it's just like I hear this a lot when it comes to little girls in families. Yeah, like it happens a lot more commonly in women where it'll be like, stay away from that guy, right? But the guy will still be around. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard that from a lot. Like at least me, I was always a lot more connected with like the women in my family, or I always got along.
Well, this guy's gay.
He's teasing me for being gay, guys. Cancel him. Nah, but
Cancel him, but not average workers. That's
yeah.
a good YouTube channel.
But yeah, like it's a lot more common, I think, at least with Hispanic women, or it could be women of any fucking race, really. I think, because I've heard this shit from a lot of different people.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah,
it happens all the time.
It happens all the time. Where it's like, especially with little girls, it'll be like, stay away from that guy, but he'll still be around like family events, family parties, and it's just like, I think it's kind of gross to almost like put the responsibility on like a 8-year-old little girl. You're like, what the fuck? Stay away from that guy, man. Keep that motherfucker away from us. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in those cases, it's always like just like, like I don't want to say society, but like it is society because like, you know, you always need people at your party, or like you always need to have like a lot of a crowded scene, and like sometimes you don't know someone really well, and like it could be like a coworker. So if you're like a little kid and there's like or say a little girl in this instance, and you invite this guy from your job and you don't really know him, you don't really trust him that well, and you see your kid kind of around them, you could be like, oh, don't get too close to him, not because he's bad necessarily, but because you don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah, you don't know him yet.
That's fair.
But as a parent, I would like tell someone, like if my kid was around, I would be like, oh, just try not to like talk to him that much, especially if he's like drinking or something, because you don't know. Like I probably trust him enough to bring him to my house, but I don't know him like that yet.
Yeah, that's fair too, especially like with Hispanic parties where you're just like, invite everyone you know, because fuck it. We're here to like just all gather and just do whatever it is, whether it's a birthday.
Unlimited plus once.
Yeah.
Unlimited plus ones.
Plus infinity.
Well, yeah, because then you just show up and you're like, oh, this is my cousin. He was free today.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
So maybe like it's these extra pressures, and that's why they feel like they have an okay sense to put that pressure on a kid. They shouldn't either way, but that's why they think it's fine, because they already gave them that warning to someone that they're not even sure if they're a bad person.
I get what you're saying. No, yeah, that is a reasonable perspective on that. Yeah, creepy shit, man.
Yeah, this topic is kind of eerie.
I agree. It's very eerie.
So let's go on to other eerie topics. You guys believe in ghosts?
Me and Kevin are 100% sure that little motherfucker that let us into that room let us into Ecta that day was completely a ghost, bro. Me and him are.
What's the story? I've never heard.
Oh, okay. So, we were at the Halloween event at Ecta, right? And
It wasn't I don't think it was Halloween. I think it was just like an event. I remember.
You know how I know it was Halloween? You know how I know it was Halloween?
How? Because there's a little ghost that let you in?
No. Because right before me and Kevin couldn't get back into it, and the reason we had to get back into it, we were outside where all the cars were giving out candy.
Oh, the trunk or treat.
Yeah,
Okay, so it was
treat.
Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. So we couldn't get back in after the trunk or treat for some reason. I forget the context of it. We just couldn't get fucking back in. We did a full lap around Ecta, and little motherfucker opens the door, like, completely blackout. Like, there's no lights on it.
Hey, don't tell me. What's the story? I remember the story.
Yeah. But anyways, opens the door to Ecta, right? Completely blacked out. And then we walk in with him. He's like, oh, yeah, well, I'll let you back in through, right? Like, we'll let you back in through this door, blah, blah. Kevin goes, I got to use the bathroom. Leaves me outside with him. I don't remember anything about that moment outside with him. Like, completely forgot about him.
Who's him?
The little ghost Asian boy.
Maybe it was a Blasian guy and you just couldn't believe he existed. Like
No,
black Asian.
No, I did a Blasian chicken.
Well,
I did a
okay.
Blasian chick. They don't.
One context that he didn't know when he was telling me this story, and even maybe a few times after, was the fact that recently, it wasn't that year. I think it was the summer before I went in. So maybe it was 2 years after this happened, was that someone hung themselves in the Ecta gym. Like this kid, they found him dead. He did it over the summer, and while the race isn't specified, I mean that school is a majority Asian Hispanic school, so like they didn't have the extra context, but they know for sure that someone let him in, and they had kind of an idea of race.
He was Asian, bro. I'm not even. It's not even on some weird shit. The guy was Asian, bro. It was just a little. It wasn't a little Asian. It was probably like a fucking.
Maybe a Filipino person.
14, 15-year-old Asian guy led us into the gym. No reason why he should have been in there. No one else was in there. As we were walking through the halls of this school, all the lights were off. Everything was completely off. He was leading us through this hall. We didn't know where the fuck we were going. Kevin sees a bathroom and he goes, yo, I gotta use the bathroom. I just stay outside with him. I don't remember a single fucking thing about it, bro. Like, my mind has completely gone blank with staying outside with him, outside of that bathroom. He comes back out. He leads us out to the party. He goes, yeah, bro, it's right out those doors. Me and Kevin walk out the doors. We hear the door close behind us. We look back. No one's there.
Another thing is that most people who have access like in and out of the school during those times are either teachers, maybe students who might be part of like the what is it, like student council.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they're a part of student council, they'll probably be outside during the event, or the people who kind of help. I can't remember. It's not really like security, but it's more like these like adults, like chaperone type of people, you know. So if they saw a student let them in, then like
he had a backpack on.
Yeah.
He had a fucking backpack on. Anyways, and additional to that, it wasn't the first story where everyone else was. It was he walked us upstairs. Kevin used the bathroom upstairs. We kept walking. He let us down. We went out of the doors. When he closed the door behind us, we saw that we were on the second story and we had to walk downstairs to where everyone else was. Like, again, it could have been some random fucking chaperone or something. But first off, why would he let us into the thing, let us use the bathroom? He didn't go into the bathroom with us. Walked out, didn't walk out with us, stayed in the building, and when we turned around, he's completely fucking gone. So unless he went in that bitch and just fucking sprinted away from the door, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, because like I've heard plenty of stories about ghosts, and they're all very believable because you know, I believe them because they're all different and they all like specify so much things, right? So I do believe them 100%. Like, why would you even lie about that, you know? There's no reason. Like, why would you just lie to, like, get me scared? Because when I hear these stories, I do get a little spooked because I'm like, whoa, they tell these stories and, like, it's probably real. But I'm always skeptical because it's never happened to me specifically.
That's valid.
So, like, I can't believe in like say you just lie to me. You go like, oh, I went to Eldo and they gave me $1 million. If you go right now, they're gonna give you $1 million too. Like, I'm not just gonna go because I know you're fucking lying. So like, if you tell me, oh, there's a ghost in Ekta, and I saw him and everything, whatever, I'm not gonna go to Ekta and just ghost hunt because you told me there's ghosts there, you know?
Yeah, that's more than fair. That's why I understand whenever I try to, whenever I share these stories and things that happen to me or the Rob story, is that I understand that no matter how much I say it was real or how much like I say it felt real, doesn't matter, because I know someone who hasn't experienced something like that will never truly understand that feeling of seeing something they don't understand. You know, it's a very unique feeling. So I never hold it against anyone or get mad at anyone for being like, oh, I don't believe in ghosts because it never happened to me, which makes sense. Like, it's almost like getting hurt. If you don't get hurt, you don't really understand how bad getting hurt is. If you've never broken a bone, you don't know what breaking a bone feels like.
Like when girls complain about having like children, we're like, oh no, that probably doesn't hurt that much.
Yeah, because we just don't know. Like, we understand and can see a lot of other things that help us show that it's painful, but the exact pain that they feel and go through, we will never understand. It's definitely a experience kind of thing, and that's why it almost fascinates me even now, because sometimes I want to go seek those things out. I went to the haunted Tonopah Hotel and stuff like that, and the cemetery. The cemetery kind of felt weird, but other than that, I never had any specific experiences that felt poltergeisty or like ghosty again there.
Paranormal.
But paranormal. But I do go seek it out because it's so unique that I feel like if something like that happens again, I'll know if it's like real.
Yeah. My favorite thing, I guess my favorite ghost related thing isn't even the Ekta thing. It's my fucking bathroom demon.
No, I tried to seek it out. Remember?
Yeah.
I tried.
No, that's crazy.
I was looking forward because you told me, oh, you have to look forward and you'll see him in the corner of your eye. And I was like, I tried it like plenty of times, and I didn't see shit.
Yeah, like it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened in a long time. Like even now, I'll go into my hallway and I'll just be like.
But explain the story.
Okay. Anyways, for multiple years, I've had different people tell me about it. Like I remember you saw. Did you see him at some point?
It sounds familiar, but the only time I ever stayed with you was like I feel like it was like...
It was a couple of months. It was
like a week.
It was like a week. It wasn't that long.
So I don't think it was long enough to see anything like that, because I don't think any of us really got up during the night.
No. Anyways, for a very long time in my home, if you walked through the hallway of my house with the door open to the bathroom on your right, if you looked dead straight, you could see the full silhouette of a motherfucker just sitting on the toilet. It was the most random bullshit. Like, it wasn't even scared. It was just like, you would walk by and I'd be like, I'm gonna look straight forward. And I swear to God, if you look straight forward, you could see the full outline of a motherfucker just sitting on the toilet. It would be like, imagine you know how like it'll be like a late night, someone's like taking a piss or something, and they just walk by the bathroom, they forget to close the door, and you just see the outline of a person, and you're just like, oh, okay, whatever. Imagine that. It wasn't like the motherfucker jumped at you from the toilet or something. You just walk by and be like,
was there someone there?
There was a motherfucker sitting on that toilet. You'd be like, what the fuck? It wasn't even creepy because there was a motherfucker sitting on the toilet. There was no creepiness behind it. There was a certain eeriness behind it because you could consistently do it, but it would just be like, what the fuck? It was just it was the fact that I consistently reproduce the effect that would fuck with me, and then I'd dead ass look at it and just be gone instantly. And I did it with Angel. I forgot who. I did it with a couple of different people, and I'd be like, what the fuck? So I got side confirmation from it. You feel me? And at a certain point, I don't know if I grew out of it. I don't know if I was just like tripping. I don't know if it was just like early age thing. But at a certain point, I just grew out of it and it just stopped happening. Like now, I still try to recreate it. It doesn't happen anymore.
Have you ever asked your mom if she saw it?
My mom, okay. Here's my favorite part about this. I asked my mom about it. She got the house bendecida, she got the house blessed by a priest after I brought it up. So I don't know if she was noticing it and thought she was tweaking, but when I brought up, she got the whole house fucking blessed. And then after that, it just never happened again. So
Oh, maybe it worked. Maybe you guys freedom.
Man, maybe I got rid of the fucking toilet poltergeist in my fucking crib.
It was probably Elvis who died there.
Maybe, bro. Maybe.
Did the ghost, did the outline have like a weird rectangle sandwich shaped thing in their hand?
No, that's the crazy part. It was just like a skinny dude just sitting on the toilet every single time, bro.
But that's why things like that make me such a strong believer in some kind of supernatural stuff, because like you said, there is some kind of repeatability. There's something that you can, that's just consistent.
Yeah,
consistent, and you can explain.
Yeah. My favorite thing is the from when I was little. Sometimes you'll get like hyper attached to a place, or you'll pay a lot of attention to a place, and then it'll connect to you in a later point in your life. So for me, growing up, I always used to look at the veterinary spot that I now work at, and I used to like always be hyper attracted to that spot, and now I work there, and I've worked there for like a year, and it's meant a lot to me as an individual. So I think it's weird, at least in my life, where I'll get this weird feeling about a place, and then that place will play a large role in my life at a certain point. Or I'll get this weird feeling about a person, and then that person will play this large role in my life.
Do you feel like you kind of manifest that in a way?
Maybe, but at the same time, like when like let's say I was driving by that veterinary clinic, I was never like, I'm gonna work there when I'm older. I'm gonna be there when I'm older.
But you can unconsciously do.
No, yeah, and yeah, a lot of the time, I have as someone who's been in therapy for or as was. Boy, we both know I was in therapy. But as someone who has been in therapy for a long time, I do know like the subconscious of like attaching yourself to something and then kind of subconsciously manifesting that in your life. But it's like it's happened to me more repeatedly than I like to admit, where it's like I'll get this weird feeling about a place, and then that place will end up playing like a role in my life at a certain point. And like what was I watching? I was watching the show at a certain point. I forget the fucking show, but it was like this weird thing where it's like they thought that Adventure Time. That's what it was. No. And it's like it's some corny shit, Adventure Time. But it was this topic where they thought there was ghosts in this house, right? And it ended up being like this weird time distortion where it was like they ended up being the ghosts in that spot because they were like it was like this weird time distortion where they were causing what they were seeing.
Kind of like Interstellar?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Actually, a lot of, not a lot, but I had one other person who explained this idea of like paranormal being more of a time thing. I remember there's this person that we spoke to whenever I went to Tonopah, and we're on our way back. We stopped at this little town. I don't remember what it was called, but we stopped at this kind of crystal shop. We stopped at a few places in that little town, but at the crystal shop, there was this woman who lived, I can't remember, it might have been New York, but she lived there for a bit, and there was a certain night where she described it as displaced, and in that moment, she saw like an outline of someone up against her window. And then once it stopped, she went and checked. No one was out there and stuff like that. And she also had another experience in that little town where they had an auditorium, like kind of like a theater area, that someone who owns that property in that town invited her to go in and check it out. And she remembers walking in, and her paranormal experience felt like a displacement in time, because for a moment, when she walked in there, she heard like distant chattering, like as if that whole place was full and busy of people, but no one was there. It's been abandoned for a long time. She just walked in, and at a certain point, she felt and heard all of it. So that's why that like paranormal stuff does feel weird, but at the same time, there's like a lot of experiences where they just feel almost as if it was like a warp or like a misplacement of where you are versus something else happening at that place but at a different time.
Do you think it feels like a deja vu?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Deja vu. I heard that deja vu is your brain processing something, is your subconscious processing something faster than your consciousness.
Maybe she was thinking about like how that place used to be so crowded since it used to be like since it was abandoned when she visited, and she was probably like thinking of how people would visit or whatever, or maybe her, the way she processed her thoughts kind of went too fast for her to really, take it in.
Yeah, I've heard people far smarter than I am be like, time isn't linear. Our perception of time is linear.
Yeah, that's why a lot of
the way that time, our perception of time because of our life is, like you get older year after year after year, but the people explain that time doesn't go minute by minute or second by second. It's just the way that we perceive time in our being that goes second by second or minute by minute.
It's because there are other physical phenomenon that happen around things that we can observe or notice that makes time very unexplainable. So there might be other things that happen that are still true that we can't really comprehend. Like this idea of light, how you can physically see light come up and it's direct and it's this thing that has certain properties.
Yeah.
But if it's near a black hole, it starts to warp and shape in a different way. So if there's something so like unique and complex as light that can have these different properties, then maybe the idea of time and how things happen can also be warped and shaped differently, and it be something we can't explain, even though we have a certain concept of what these things are.
But I feel like we can't be the only ones who perceive time like that, because, like, for example, animals, they age with every day, It's not just us. Like, this whole world does that. So is our mind strong enough to, like, convince this other species to do the same thing? Or, like, how does it work?
It's more like a physical thing. It's like your physical being is going second by second. Like, you are aging itself, but time doesn't follow the same property as your physical being. Like, our physical being is correspondent to time, where it's like it has to obey the laws of time. You're going to age, you're going to get older, you're going to fucking go day by day because that is how your consciousness perceives time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that time itself, what you are perceiving, has to follow the same rules as your perception of it. It's like when you understand like a computer, like let's say you understand a computer like a program, right? But you don't understand, like let's say Excel or some shit, right? You know how to use like certain tools of it. That doesn't mean that Excel itself has to follow the rules that you're applying to it. You know how like music, right? Just because a motherfucker is rapping doesn't mean that rap is the only type of music that exists.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Just because a motherfucker is like the only way that someone can make music is like, let's say beats, doesn't mean that's the only type of music. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like, ultimately this larger concept grows beyond just your singular perspective of it.
But it's not just one single perspective, it's everyone.
That's why I like this idea of the core idea behind science is the fact that we have tools to measure and observe, and then we can prove things. The fact that time is so complex and weird means that we may not be able to fully observe and prove things. Just like light. We didn't know light was a wave and also a particle. That it's like a particle that has wave properties, which means that there's something else going on that we don't have the tools to observe and conclude on. The same way that time acts so strange and differently means that maybe there is something going on. It doesn't have to be something like
that crazy. Like,
yeah, it doesn't have to be like this super like there is a God, there is like these upholder
like
things.
4-dimensional.
Yeah, it could just be something that we can't see or have the tools to see. There are a lot of things that happened to people who seemed miraculous that just turned out to be things that we couldn't observe and measure.
Yeah, like all the ghost stories, we can be like, we all have our own perspectives on it. And like, what about the people who believe so strongly in aliens? We classify them as crazy, but maybe because it hasn't happened to that many of us as like ghosts and all that, like paranormal activity.
Yeah.
So like people who have been abducted and are fully convinced, maybe they're right, but how do we know?
Yeah, that's why it's really like hard. That's why I don't like this idea of just calling someone crazy no matter what. If there's like no proof behind it. That's why a lot of people who are who want these things to be true want proof, because they want something for their minds to be able to understand and measure to approve of this other thing that happened.
Yeah, that's 100% me. That's how I view things, because I'm 100% skeptical about anything that's I cannot see, like China.
My,
And that's why Chinese people aren't real to me.
what was it? I think it was like junior year of high school. I wrote this paper on
China.
on shaman in prior societies as opposed to crazy people nowadays, and it's like schizophrenic and other people who have like this like crazy coming of mentality moment, or coming of like Christ moment, or all these different crazy shits that happen. At different points in our time in humanity, we would see these people as like shaman, or as like leaders, or like as people who have had these crazy experiences, and now we just see them as like crazy homeless people who are just like babbling on the street. And it's like so many people have these crazy experiences in their life where they see, or like they feel, or they experience things that no one else feels. And then in other moments in time, or in other moments of society, we would have seen these people as leaders, or as like spiritual mentors, or as other things. And it's just like our modern day society has labeled them as like schizophrenics, or as people who are having mental, are in psychosis, or all these other things. And it's like, if you look at the experiences that these people are describing, they're hyper similar to other experiences that, like, if you look at, like, if you read like spiritual text, or you read religious text, they're hyper similar. They're like, oh, I saw this deity, I saw this person coming to me, they taught me this lesson, I did blah blah blah. And it's like, now
something
so
like, specific.
Yeah, and we're just like, you're fucking insane, go to this mental asylum. And it's like, if they were born fucking 400 years ago, you would be the leader of a tribe because you had this crazy coming of moment. And it's just, I think ultimately it's just like, the human mind is so complex, and everyone's experience is so individualistic, that I think that to say that like this is impossible, or this perception of this thing is impossible, or this experience is impossible, I think it's all just a matter of the context behind it, and the context of the society that you're living in.
Yeah, like, would you believe any philosopher if they were like, you know, in this era?
Exactly. It's like they're like
just only because their thing is wrote on paper from back then.
One guy that
Yeah.
lived in a fucking pot and like lived with dogs and
Like the super minimalist
know.
guy. He was just a homeless guy.
yeah, God, what was his fucking name?
I don't know, but one thing that you were talking about
I know who you're talking about.
that is important
Plato?
is
No, it
this
wasn't Plato.
the idea to have tools, and that's why science is so rigid, because people who want to be scientists or call themselves scientists, and this field is so rigid, is because they have the tools to, again, observe, measure, and conclude. That's why a lot of things can just sound crazy. Like you said, like these people we can call off as crazy might have something to them, but the thing is, we don't have the tools to actually measure and like comprehend whatever it is they're saying. Just like Isaac Newton, he observed something, which was something falling on him, and realized there is some force that he can't see
acting on this thing.
acting on this thing. And if you're someone back then who said it the wrong way, who maybe explained it the wrong way, you're going to be seen as crazy, you're going to be seen as different, and they're not going to listen to you. But the thing is that makes him so special in my mind is the fact that he used everything in his power to measure, observe, and then conclude. He maybe didn't give these things specific labels or some kind of like actual
Attribute or something?
Yeah, attribute. But he measured, he observed, and he wrote it down for future people to come back to and look at. Mm-hmm. And from that, he spawned this whole branch of science, of physics, of like the way we observe light.
I mean, we still use it to this time, no?
Yeah, that's why like that's why the power of being able to observe and measure is so important to so many people, because we know if we have those two things, then we can conclude something. That's why personal experience, while it may be so powerful, it almost comes up as nothing because there's no way to prove it.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think that's really impactful. I saw this. I always think it's funny how like it'll be like I read this book, right? I saw this thing. I saw this meme, bro. I saw this meme on fucking Instagram, right? That compared religion, the age of science, and the age of AI.
Yeah.
Right. And basically what it was saying is that as humans, we have this tendency to understand this thing, comprehend this thing, like to observe this thing, comprehend this thing, and then make this thing our fucking god or our ultimate thing, right? So the way that this meme compared it was religion, right? Like it was like how to live your life, and then what happens with your life, and then what happens with your afterlife, right?
Like they plan out everything.
Yeah. And then it compared that to modern day AI, where at first it was like, oh, this thing is brand new, this thing is impactful to our lives, and then now we're like, we are AI, we have to be artificial, like it's like the human mind needs a reason to exist, and then as a result of needing a reason to exist, it makes the important thing of modern day into this like overarching thing. You get what I'm saying? Where it's like when as a society we were hyper religious, we were like,
we would kill for religion.
yeah, we would kill for religion. It ended up being our hyper thing. We're like, after we die, we're gonna go to heaven, right? And it's like now with AI, we're making AI our new god. Everything that we interact with, we need to make it our ultimate deity. Like with science, right? Like it started with religion, then it went into science, and now it's into AI. Where we're now like we're at the point as a society where we're like, yeah, we've gotten AI so complex where we now believe that our universe must be artificially created because we can artificially create universes. Before AI, it was science where we were like, we have to explain everything. We have to minimalize everything into fitting into our concept of
Like
it.
why, when, and where type
Exactly. Like our whole grasp of reality revolves around what we're doing as a society. So our whole grasp on reality was religion at first, then it became science, and now we're at the point where we're conceptualizing our whole existence as AI because that is our only kind of reference of mind.
Well, I think it depends on how you see it, because in my opinion, what I've seen is always like people have always thought that we're living in a simulation or whatever. You know, that's where the Matrix movie came from or whatever. Like that's where all those books come from. And I don't know. I feel like that idea has always been out there, but now that it's like really, like literally in our hands, like we have that AI in our hands in that little universe.
Maybe that's why people think of it more powerful or see it as more of a possibility, because now they're having some kind. Yeah, they have some kind of proof to actually like materialize it to be possible.
Ultimately, I think as human beings, like the human like conceptualization of things needs to be able to grasp our reason for existence, or at least the components of our existence. Like no matter what, as humans, like I think at a certain point we need to rationalize things, and whatever is the most kind of overarching thing or theme in our current existence ends up being what we want to rationalize it as.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like everyone sees it the way they want to see it, because I have nothing to do with AI, so I cannot correlate or like.
Yeah,
you know,
the same way. Like I hear all the stories, or like I can see how powerful it is in the sense that like it can develop maybe videos, audio, visual. Like I can see how impressive it is, but the fact that maybe I don't interact with it directly means that it holds less power over what I think reality is.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't see it that way. I just feel like
Mhm.
I don't know, like we're here. God knows why, or whoever knows why, but I don't think we are AI because, like, we're so complex and whatever, and AI has so many flaws still. So, like, just because we can make something like that, I guess I don't see us being something like that. Like, we're just some kind of software.
Yeah, that's fair, but the the science and the technology that you need to kind of simulate human consciousness can be measured, and because of that, a lot of people say that the fact that we can measure it, the fact that it's possible that you need X many transistors to simulate some kind of emotion means that like there's all these things that people point to that even if we haven't gotten there, they think that if it's possible, then it might be real.
Yeah, but even people who think that it's not possible, like having faith in Christ, you don't know if it's real or not because it didn't happen in your time. It happened like so many years ago, whatever, like 2000 something years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And people still believe it even though they've never seen it. So, like, you can believe whatever you want.
Yeah,
It just doesn't matter as
Yeah.
long as you're happy, I guess.
that's fair. As long as it doesn't like hold something over you that is bad, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, even if you believe in something really hard, ultimately, I feel like you do whatever you want. Because then you, like, set those kind of rules
Mhm.
because you want to.
Yeah, for me, it always boils down to the idea of the effects it has on the user slash believer of whatever it is. If there's a net negative, then it's probably just more of a cult and bad. Like, honestly, that's what it boils down to. Because if the individual who decides to believe and join this bigger idea or belief or faith has a net negative, then they are giving more of themselves over to an idea rather than applying this idea and making things better to them and or whatever they believe in.
Remember, y'all, every religion starts as a cult. No, that's the definition of a religion.
Yeah, like a strong belief that can be proven.
Look, like, ultimately, the only difference between a cult and a religion is the follower base, and that's actually it, bro. Because if you really look at, like, you have some random fucking dude in Oklahoma spouting about fucking an elephant deity, right?
Look, the fact that Mormons are still a religion and a religious belief, it should
Thank you. Like,
it should be more than proof that like it all starts out crazy.
when your cult reaches 10,000 plus members, I think you just kind of get officiated as a religion. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, ultimately, look, you're probably gonna get fucking blown up by some government before you get to that. But I'm not gonna lie to you. If you get to 10,000 members, you're pretty much a religion after that.
I feel like then, in that case, like, famous people are basically like a religion then, because they have like millions or.
That's why
If you look at the
Millions of
devotion of some people who follow like a specific person, like some celebrities have genuinely become deities, not to the general public, but to a hyper specific group of people because of the idea that they have behind them.
Yeah, I think what you bring up like makes sense, but for a religion or a cult, it's a much stronger following. It's not just like I like this person, it's more like this person is gonna do great things for me, and then they are willing to give up much more of themselves or what they do for that person. That I think that's a big difference. Because yeah, there are plenty of people in this day of age who have a big following, but the number of people who follow them so strongly or so blindly are a lot less than probably most religions.
At least 10K though, like at that.
Well, I mean, he was just throwing out a number.
Oh, okay.
I feel like an actual.
It's not like the government. It's not like a government.
Yeah, I
If you
feel-
got 10,000 people, we'll start fucking with you.
yeah, I feel like it's probably different. There's probably some kind of rule out there, but overall, there are going to be strong followings. But that's why it makes it much different, because if it's large enough to give so much of yourself that it creates a bigger impact with so many other people, then it's probably more of a cult / religion type of thing.
I definitely believe that there's a couple of religions out there that definitely teeter the line between cult and religion for sure.
Yeah.
There's like subsects of Christianity. There's subsects of fucking not Muslim, Islam. Yeah, you would say Islam as like a subsect, right? Please don't kill me, bro. I'm sorry. I don't mean to disrespect y'all.
I mean, a lot of cults are technically branches of like Christianity and
Exactly, yeah,
like Catholicism.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What about what's it called? Psychology? No, sociology? No.
Psychology?
Scientology.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a couple of celebrities that are part of it, but
But besides celebrities, there's a lot of regular people just giving their money, and like, what do they see? What do they gain out of it?
a blind devotion, a reason to exist.
Just like a normal.
That's why it's technically a religion.
Yeah, there are so many.
As soon as more than like 100 people die because of Scientology, it's probably gonna be labeled a cult after that. You know?
I think they definitely have 100 plus.
I mean,
died on record.
Died through
that at one time.
Like not one time, but I mean like through direct orders of the religion.
You think? Here's my thing.
Because that's why a lot of those cults are labeled as cults, because it ended in some kind of tragedy that a bunch of people died.
You know what's crazy though? Like if you look at like the martyrdom of a lot of Islam followers, or I'm sorry, Jesus, Islamic, yeah, a lot of Islamic people. Like the suicide bombers and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
In their eyes, that's martyrdom. That's what we see as like our like saints and shit that died in the name of Christianity. They have current saints, like a motherfucker. Like, oh god, I'll never remember the names. I'm sorry, y'all. But one of the leaders of Al Qaeda, one of his sons was a martyr, and the way that he died was he fucking drove a car into a town. Right, he suicide bombed himself. That shit had like 700 pounds of explosive. He blew up like half of a town in his car, right? And he's a martyr to some of the Taliban.
Yeah.
Because of what he did, right? And it's like, we don't see that as a cult. We see that as a religion.
Well, no, you're seeing that bigger thing as a religion, but those specific people who follow that thought and maybe see him as a martyr in that group might be a lot smaller than this bigger religion. Just like Christianity is like this big thing, so if there's like some subset group of people who follow it and then something bad happens because of it, and then they label this person as maybe a prophet or something, then you call those people a cult, and those people like some radical group, versus everything else that came before it.
In that case, I feel like every country is a fucking cult, because everyone will kill or will try to die, or not everyone, but like a lot of people within the country will kill for the country and will die for the country, the same way Islamic people do.
Yeah.
So
I feel
like none of us are really good, or none of the countries really.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's just such a crazy topic when it comes to like the devotion some people have behind a cause. It's just like, I think that every single human being has some sort of cause that they would go to like a hyper extreme for, and it just comes down to like what that hyper extreme is, you know? Because like some hyper extremes to like the larger society are valid. You feel me? Like, let's say if you're taking like the encapsulated capsule of the Taliban, right? They see that martyrdom as completely valid. They're like, hey, old boy was lit. What the hell?
Yeah.
You feel me? And then we see that shit as insane. And then we'll see like some fucking Navy SEAL who goes into some shit, fucking guns down 1 billion people and then gets gunned down. We're like, hey, boy was lit. You feel me? And it's just like, ultimately, it comes down to like a perspectives thing and then a values thing. And it's just, I think that every single human being, literally, I don't give a fuck if you're a sociopath. If you're a sociopath, then you'd probably do that shit for your own like agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we all have some kind of cause and like higher thought of why we do things.
Yeah, exactly. And I think every single human being is capable of, I guess, okay, I believe in the larger concept of every single person is one being, and we're just living that one lifetime through every single person, if that makes sense. Like, it's the I believe in the sense of reincarnation, but I also believe in the sense that we are all one, and that we are all the same thing, living different lifetimes to the same time, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So my ultimate thing when I think of that is that every single person, including me, is capable of every single thing that every person is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes down to context.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think that is what allows me to kind of.
You feel like it's. I think that's also a good source of motivation to understand that, like, you are very capable of a lot of things, even though it might take longer or you have to seek different avenues to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what, additional to that, it's what allows me to connect with every single person that I interact with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, bro, I might think you're an absolute fucking asshole, right? I might think you're the worst person alive, but at the end of the day, I can see myself in your shoes and I can see myself in your exact position.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you do, because of that larger belief where it might be the fucking acid talking, right? You feel me? But I believe that I am you and you are me. Mm-hmm. Because I believe that truly I am capable of everything that you are capable of, and you are capable of everything that I am capable of.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way of looking at it, because then your source of empathy and like sympathy doesn't come from like looking up or down upon someone. It's more just like realizing that whether how bad in quotes or how good in quotes that they are, that you also have that same capability. Technically, you have that same capability.
Yeah, it's like saying, oh, if that guy can do it, so can I.
Yeah. For everything. That's why,
absolutely.
like, if you see someone really going through some shit, you're not going to do something horrible to them because you look at them like, oh, I can probably also do that.
Absolutely. And when I say that you are me and I am you, like, I have truly, like, year after year tried to really incorporate that in my being, where it's like, when I see like a homeless guy like tweaking out, right, and like shitting on a wall, right, I truly,
I'm gonna give him a fucking McDouble.
No, not even that. I'm not gonna give him shit. You know why I'm not gonna give him shit? Because that's me right there. At the end of the day, like, I truly believe deep in my fucking soul, and I've tried every single day of my life. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fucking person. I forget it sometimes too. But truly, every single day of my life, I wake up and I go, I am my mother. I am my grandmother. I am fucking every single person in this world. Because even if I'm fucking wrong, the only thing that provides me with is the truest and deepest sincerity and connection with every single person around me. Because if I truly believe that this fucking jackass in front of me making disgusting decisions is me, then that means that I have the empathy to truly try and connect with that person at the very least and lead them out of that. And if they don't lead out of that with me, that's completely fine, because I chose to be where that person is.
Yeah, it's that moment of just being able to give yourself to someone completely for a moment, whether it's small or big, but you still give things to them out of your like deepest, sincerest moment of some sort of empathy or sympathy, whatever you want to call it. You know, that moment where you are them, you do something, and then whether they come out of it or not is not up to you.
Exactly. Because if I truly believe that I am them, then I chose, for whatever reason, in my contextual life that I am not living in, I chose that because I thought that was best for me at that moment.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I do see myself as really empathetic. I can easily, like, you know, just see myself as them, like you said. Mm. But I don't believe that I am them and they are me. Like, I can see where they come from and why they could be like that. I don't have to understand it, but I know it happens. So, you know, I'm not just going to shit on it just because I don't like it. I can just be like, okay, you're you and I'm me. And, like, you know, shit happens. That's fair. But, like, you know, I can still feel for them or whatever, even if they're, like, a bad person. Like, something brought them to that. Or, like, sometimes it's pure evil, whatever. But, you know, I also have those thoughts of pure evil, but I'm not going to act on it just because I have them.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
They're just like this version of you who did act on that pure evil.
Not
Yeah.
even the version of you, it's just people.
Yeah, like so that's why like the fact that you are capable of those thoughts mean that you shouldn't not look down, but like maybe like think of yourself as better because they were able to not act on those bad things. You know, like you can still see them as bad, but you're not gonna think of yourself as good because of it. If that
I do, though, because I'm not going to go out and just, like, take someone's life or, like, commit a wrong decision that takes someone's life.
yeah, but
Not
being
even take
new.
someone's life, but, like, you know, just, like, just make a wrong choice. I can see why people can make them and how they can get to that. But I do see myself as better than them because I'm not doing that fucking shit.
Yeah, but if you think non-action means you're good, does that mean that the fact that they took action means that they're better than you in some other way?
No.
At least.
Do you think someone that takes action in doing fent and kills themselves is better than you?
In some
No, but
capacities.
someone can say that they're braver because they did it, and you were too scared to do
That's
it.
devil's advocate, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's why like the idea that I was more bringing it back to him where he sees himself as someone else, that there shouldn't be some kind of judgment because they did or didn't, because if you think you are them, or like if you are them and then they make that choice, then you're not going to try to think of yourself as better.
That part. So let me explain that a little further. For a very long time in my life, I'll say for the first 15 years of my life, from 0 to 15, in my deepest fucking soul, I genuinely struggled with empathy. Like, in every capacity of my life, I either saw myself as better than,
Yeah.
or as non-connecting. And that was like, you're fucking up your whole life, that's your fucking problem, bro. Like, I have no association with that. You're a piece of shit, woo-doo, I'm better than you, blah, blah, blah. At the age of fucking 15 or 16, I genuinely had a full and true ego death. I had a full moment of connection where I was you, I was me, I was the entirety of the universe. You feel me?
That just sounds egotistical.
Exactly. Let me explain this. And it wasn't in a sense of like, I am greater than, I am God, I am Jehovah, I am the creator, right? It wasn't that. It was a true realization that everything and all the evil that is in this world, I am capable of, and all the positivity in this world, I am also capable of. I like to believe in the greater purpose of, we are all, you know what, I'm gonna drop this because this is the easiest way to put it. When you go on TikTok, there's a bunch of fucking white people, right, that have had this weird, that have done fucking psychedelics and they, I am source, I am blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of that bullshit, right? And they're tapping into the same bullshit that I'm trying to tap into, but when they tap into that, they have this weird egotistical sense to them, right? But I ultimately believe that we are all the same being experiencing a billion different lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? And with that comes the perspective of, I am no better than you. I am no worse than you. You get what I'm saying?
I get you, but I don't agree. That's it.
That's fair. That's completely fair. Yeah, but at least from my perspective, where I was a person of zero fucking empathy, you feel me? That allowed me to gain a perspective of empathy.
Okay.
And ultimately, I feel like that has led me to a better position, at least in my own self, because even if I am in this weird egotistical pace, at least it's given me the ability of empathy.
Yeah, it's like countless stories of like saying someone's not gonna become this one thing, and then they end up becoming that thing.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like I genuinely, when I see some homeless person on the side of the street, I never go, oh, look at that jackass. I genuinely see my fucking face on that person, and I go, I could totally be that person right
Yeah.
now. I could be that asshole with that pit bull on the side of the road barking at cars and be like, anything fucking helps.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could see myself as that human being. And genuinely, I am that human being. Because when I am that human being, it allows me the perspective of sympathy. Because when I'm not that person, I don't have that sympathy. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the only way that I can tap into that larger sympathy is being that person. And regardless of whether or not that makes me like some weird egotistical asshole, that is the only way that I feel like I am truly empathetic.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I just don't like. I get where you're coming from, but I just don't see it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I guess the larger perspective on that is it's like that could be fake. The way that I'm feeling, I don't think that the way that I'm feeling is real, but I know that the way that I'm feeling is the only way that allows me to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, and it all comes back to like religion and all that. Like you said, if there's a downside to a religion or something, it's probably a cult. But like, if it helps you be someone better, then believe in whatever the fuck you want, as long as you're nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Literally that part. Dude, bro, you could believe that the fucking what is that? Spaghettiism, whatever the fuck. What the thing? No. I'm so serious.
it's a
The
religion.
The
Yeah.
pasta.
Really?
Yeah. When you can go to the DMV wearing a pasta strainer on your hat, and you can be like, "This is a religious thing," and they'll let you take the ID picture with a pasta strainer on your hat.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a real thing where they kind of, they believe that like the greater power, I don't know if it was God or Jesus, but one of the two was more of like a spaghetti monster person.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
it's absolutely insane. But look, bro, believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe in, as long as it allows you to be a better person.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you grow and just,
Like,
become someone better every day.
I talked to a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses, and now I call God Jehovah. And it's not because I believe in Jehovah's Witnesses' fucking beliefs or whatever, but it's because the Jehovah's Witnesses have time after time proven to me that in the Bible, that is what God wants to be called, Jehovah. And it's like, look, bro, I choose to believe in God. You feel me? I choose to believe in a higher power above whatever the human consciousness is and above whatever I believe that we are, because I believe that I am you and I believe that Tony is me. But I also like to believe that there's a higher power, because believing in that higher power above me allows me to be a student to that higher power.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, whatever helps you just understand and just be contributive to, I don't know.
Absolutely. And I think truly, if you want to take different aspects of different religions, then believe that, bro. Because
Yeah.
so the Muslims believe that hell is not eternal.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that no matter what sin you committed, it's not eternal, because truly the Christian belief where it's like hell is eternal, hell is forever. No sin, in my personal perspective, is worth your soul burning in hell forever, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, at a certain point, your soul has to learn a lesson, just like you're gonna learn a lesson. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I think it's fucked up for Christians to believe that you're just gonna stay in hell for fucking forever. That's fucked up to your soul, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that's kind of, how they say, oh, the fear of God, like
Exactly.
putting the fear of God in you. Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's like a better way to try to get yourself to be better when you're alive, so you're not down there burning forever.
Literally. And it's like, I was talking to some Jehovah's. I have the pamphlets in my fucking bag still, because ultimately in the whole Jehovah's thing, they believe that God is your friend, God is empathetic, God shares a lot of the same values as you do as an individual, as long as you're like a good person or whatever. It's like God ultimately wants to forgive you, God wants to accept you, and it's like
Yeah.
that allows me to closer connect with the higher power, because it's like ultimately as a human being, I think that you should connect to some sort of higher power. I think that's what allows a lot of people to become their best selves. Like, I don't care if you believe in fucking Buddha, I don't care if you believe in fucking Allah, believe in whatever the fuck you want, as long as it allows you to connect to the best self that you.
Sometimes it's people. That's why a lot of people are like, hey, I'm going to improve myself because I want to be like this person.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, that part. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Even if that person probably does some bad things themselves, but if the other person who believes that other person is way better, and it allows them to, work better or try to be nicer or anything, positive, then that's good. I don't know, whatever helps you. But if it's something stupid, maybe keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you can still be better and still have your belief system be like, hey, I just really like the Power Rangers. It's fine. Just in the end, if you're doing something to improve yourself and kind of emit some kind of positive thing to the world, even if it's just yourself, you're still part of the world. So it's more than fine. And with that, I think it's been very nice for you guys to listen. This is a much longer episode, but it's fine. And thank you for listening. We're going to go grab a quick 6-pack of Modelos and
Cigarettes.
A quick 6-pack of cigarettes and Modelos. And, we're going to be pisteando away. All right.
A la buena, puto. Pinche perra.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.